Hi, this is Ryan with Galaxy of Toys and Collecting Cosmos, and San Diego Comic-Con is only a couple of days away, and I will be heading there, just like I've done for the past 6 years, on Wednesday. So I thought I'd take everybody kind of through a few of the Comic-Con exclusives that have come out through the years, and hopefully this week I'll get some more videos on Comic-Con for what it is this year, as well as some reviews of the Comic-Con exclusives that we're seeing this year. So I have assembled a whole lot of Comic-Con exclusives here for us to take a look at. I'll go through a bunch of these one by one. See, it used to be really easy to get Comic-Con exclusives. Like this holographic Leia from 2005. I bought this not very long ago at a toy show for probably $10. And honestly, Comic-Con exclusives used to be very easy. This Vader and Emperor one, I seem to remember ordering online right after the show. It was very easy to get. And that's the way exclusives used to be. So here are just a couple to go through. We have the Shadow Scout with Speeder Bike, which was just a repaint of the Speeder Bike we already had. This is even the really cool one that we got later on. And then we got this smiling Luke Skywalker in X-Wing outfit that was supposed to be a release with a new head sculpt, but Hasbro deemed the sculpt wasn't very good, or Lucasfilm did. So it came out as a Comic-Con exclusive with the latter. Here you can see how ridiculous that sculpt is. Now there's the one that got away. This was shown at San Diego Comic-Con in 2009. Whether it would have been exclusive or not, who knows. But it's Darth Vader on the funeral pyre with Luke Skywalker. It was kind of a concept idea that they were thinking about, but of course have never, ever produced. But it's kind of fun to show here as the one that got away. So it used to be really easy to get the Comic-Con exclusives. You could order them right after the show. Online. You could go to Hasbro Toy Shop or a bunch of other different sites and order them right away, and they'd come to you very quickly, and they'd be on the sites for months. They were never hard to get, and you'd see them at shows thereafter for quite a while. They were never hard to get. They were never rare in any kind of point of view. But around 2011, which happens to be the first San Diego Comic-Con that I went to, we started to see the rare sets happen, or the sets that were very hard to get and lasted 30 seconds or whatever it is on Hasbro Toy Shop. And I'm going to go through some of those to the years here, since the years that I've been going to Comic-Con. So 2011 was the very first San Diego Comic-Con that I went to. And I had friends who'd been going, and I heard different stories. And it was kind of hard sometimes getting the Comic-Con Hasbro line. But I knew about the Death Star set here, the Revenge of the Jedi Death Star set, and the Indiana Jones set. I was so excited for both of them. And I wasn't sure, how it was going to work, but I had the money to get them. And I'll tell you what, the first time going there, it was very hard to get in that line. I can tell you, nowadays, it's actually just as hard to get exclusives at the convention as it is to get them online. I know people complain about it being hard to get because they're there and then they're gone. Well, at the convention, you have to line up really, 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 really early to try and get a ticket so you can get in the Hasbro line, and then hope that what you're buying isn't sold out. However, there are a couple ways around this. Sometimes you can go by and they'll just let random people in because they've got a short line. I've lucked out on that a few times. That's how I lucked out on these, actually. I didn't get a ticket. I didn't understand that whole process my first year, but they let me in. So let's take a look at these. I'll take a look at the Death Star set rather than the Indiana Jones set, although the Indy set is pretty awesome. So 2011, Hasbro was putting out the Revenge of the Jedi subset, kind of, with their vintage cards. So they all had Revenge of the Jedi cards on them. And all the figures in this set were actually figures put out on these cards. They weren't hard to get, except for two, which is what makes this set so hard to get and so rare. One is the mini card of the mouse droid here, and the other is Salacious Crumb here. Both are on a mini card. They're not on a very big card. Now, as you can see, it looks like this is just printed on the backdrop, and it is. It's actually, the bubble sticks through a hole, and the actual card's behind. If I wanted to pull all these cards out, I could. And I never have. But this set became sought after, and I guess it goes for almost $1,000 now on eBay. Don't tell my wife, she'll probably want me to sell this. But, when I got this, like I said, it was my first Comic-Con Star Wars exclusive. I was really excited about it. And now I've seen how rare it is, and how hard it is to come by, and how expensive it is. And I feel very fortunate to have picked this up. My second year of Comic-Con gave us another large exclusive, this time featuring the Lost Line look that they did in 2012 of 6 different figures, one from each movie. And it's in the shape and kind of design of the carbon freezing chamber. And I'll show you why here in just a minute. But as you can see, we have the Emperor's Wrath Darth Vader. we have Jar Jar for Episode 1, a Clone Trooper for Episode 2, another Clone Trooper for Episode 3. And you can see on the card design, each one has a picture of the character, plus a vehicle that kind of corresponds to the character for each one. For A New Hope, we get Sand Trooper. For Empire Strikes Back, we get Bespin Lamb. And here we are back to Vader. Now, this came with a 7th figure, which kind of made it very sought after. And as you can see, it looks like this could move here if you'd like. And it does. In fact, I can do this, and it pulls aside, and there's one more figure inside. Now, don't get too scared when I show you this, because mine doesn't have a figure in it. Now, you first see Jar Jar Binks, but it does say Jar Jar in Carbonite. Now, yes, I removed Jar Jar in Carbonite from mine. Oh no, I totally destroyed the value. It's from my collection. Don't care. Unfortunately, my Jar Jar in Carbonite is packed away right now, so I will show you a picture in just a minute of what it looks like. But that became part of this very sought-after set. So I say, not for individual sale. This Jar Jar in Carbonite was never released as a separate figure. And as such, it made this a very hard-to-get set. Plus, it's large and unwieldy and hard to get home from San Diego, even when you live on the West Coast. In 2013, we got 2 exclusives. We got Boba Fett and Han in Carbonite for the new 6-inch Black Series. This was a brand new series coming out that year. And then everybody's favorite, Angry Birds on Vintage card set. Now, the funny thing about this Angry Birds set is this is the year that Hasbro gave us their panel that mostly involved Angry Bird stuff, and that left a lot of collectors very angry. I know I sat through that panel, and they barely showed us any action figures and spent all their time on the whole Angry Bird thing. We were not happy about this. This was an exclusive set put out that year. It was actually very easy to get. You could go up to the Hasbro booth at the end of the day when there was no line and pick this up. The Fett and Han in Carbonite, on the other hand, was not easy to get. In fact, I did not buy mine at the show. Sometimes when I can't get into the Hasbro line and pick them up, I'll buy them from a dealer on the floor for a little bit of a markup. The markup on this was so high, I never got it. In fact, I didn't buy this till almost a year later. There was a website that put them up for about $75, and I went and grabbed it right away because that's what I wanted. So let's just take a quick look at this Boba Fett set. Now inside, we have the Boba Fett Black Series action figures that was actually released regular. It's not any different from the regular Black Series release, but it was the Han in Carbonite that was exclusive. Now, if you know me, you know I open my toys, and so I can take this out. Now, it's just a block here, not a big deal, but there are a couple cool things about here that I'll show you. One of the nice things is this Han in Carbonite came with its own display stand. You see with the clear here, that actually kind of tilts it back, but you didn't just have to do it that way. You could actually flip this display stand and put it on another stand so it could kind of be in that hover area. So you could have Boba Fett and some Imperials walking Han Solo out on Bespin. Kind of a nice feature on this. In 2014, we got something I had predicted at Toy Fair. They said we were going to get this Jabba the Hutt, and everybody asking, is it going to come with a throne? Are we going to do any of that? And I said, Hasbro was very kind of, oh, wait and see. I'm like, oh, it'll be a Comic-Con exclusive. And sure enough, we did get the Jabba the Hutt Black Series Comic-Con exclusive. And the big exclusives with this is you get a Salacious Crumb, and you get his hookah and everything. Otherwise, the Jabba the Hutt figure is exactly the same. It also has a slot that you can put the previous year's Han in Carbonite in, and it came with just a cardboard one that you can have in there, and the cardboard backdrop that extends to the front panel, as you can see, kind of like you're looking down into the Rancor pit. Not that I expect them to ever do a 6-inch scale Black Series Rancor, but this was a very hard set to get. I believe I bought this from a vendor on the floor. I couldn't get into the Hasbro line that year, and had to pay a little extra for it. So even if you go to the show, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to easily get that. The line is very hard to do, and many times by the end of the Saturday and Sunday, they are out of the Star Wars exclusives. So if you just think everybody goes to San Diego Comic-Con is so lucky because it'll be so easy to get the exclusives, it is not always that easy. In 2015, we had one of the cheapest and fairly easy to get exclusives from San Diego Comic-Con, and that was our first look at the Black Series First Order Stormtrooper for the upcoming movie of Force Awakens. Now, it came in this nice, different kind of box, which was very cool. And like I said, it's our first look at seeing the Stormtrooper. Now, yep, I did open mine, And there are some differences from the regular one. The biggest one being is that it has white on the bottom of the feet rather than being all black. And it comes with both weapons. It was really cool to finally get one of these. Now, on the back, it also has a little booklet. This booklet just had some additional information, just some little specs and everything, and history of the Stormtrooper, Clone Trooper in it. It was kind of interesting to look at. Nothing really big. Like I said, this was the only exclusive that year, and it was actually easy to get. Part of it was I was honored to be able to go to the Hasbro breakfast that year, and they actually gave out free tickets to the Hasbro line at the breakfast. And I was able to jump in line and get this that way. This is the only year that I know of that they've actually given out those free tickets. So, unfortunately, that's not always the way to do it. But still kind of a cool way, and the figure here is nothing different from the regular release figure. It's just the box and the booklet that make it different. Last year, in 2016, we actually had 3 different exclusives from San Diego Comic-Con. Now, the first, the Kylo Ren Unmasked, was actually released at Celebration Europe the week before, which I happened to be at, and where I bought this. I did not have to get it at Comic-Con, which was kind of nice. Now, while at Celebration Europe, they did do a ticketing system. If you just came later in the day, they would let people line up and pick up whatever they'd like. This is everything that came inside. He's unmasked. The exact same figure that then came out on the regular box set. The only differences here is you get the melted Darth Vader mask and this display stand with First Order flag. Everything else is the same. Pretty nice figure. And then they not only had it in Europe, but then they put it out at San Diego Comic-Con last year. Next, we have, this was announced like last minute. Like I think while we were at Celebration, they announced this one, was the Jyn Erso action figure for the Black Series. Now, this figure, of course, we now see everywhere. It's probably one of the most common figures in the Black Series. And so the figure has no real difference in it other than the box, and it came with something extra like the Stormtrooper the year before. In the back, it had this little extra spot, and you could pull it out, and there were inside were these 4 different cards, which showed your figure in action poses, kind of extra figure photography. And this was basically the only difference. There's beyond this and the regular release figure, there's no difference on this. Just to get these little cardboard action figure photography here in this and the special box, nothing else was different. Finally, we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi, which again was basically the same release as the figure that we got in the regular Black Series edition. Whoop, my Obi-Wan has fallen out. But he's the same figure, comes with both his lightsaber and Luke's lightsaber. But the big deal was his little table with Princess Leia as a hologram.
Years ago, you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire. I regret that I am unable to present my father's request to you in person, but my ship has fallen under attack, and I'm afraid my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed. I have placed information vital to the survival of the rebellion into the memory systems of this R2 unit. My father will know how to retrieve it. You must see this droid safely delivered to him on Alderaan. This is our most desperate hour. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
So it was very cool that they put the whole speech in there. Also, you could remove the front flap, and you could have like a little display flap that you could put behind your figure, should you like. Like I said, figure is exactly the same as the regular release, nothing new there. It was just the table, which is kind of nice with some of these exclusives. You get like an extra piece, but it's the same figure everybody else can get. And of course, this year we are getting the Luke with Land Speeder that will have more detail to the Land Speeder, and the Luke is supposed to be redone. I don't know if that's going to be the same on the regular release. And then we are getting Grand Admiral Thrawn with all the extra accessories, and Thrawn will be released as a regular release later in the year, just without all the extra accessories. Now, you might be saying that I missed a few in there. There's like the Commander Greed that's coming out this year, and there was that Rancor set that came out a few years ago, and the Han and Greedo and the Cantina, the Black Series set, and things like that. And yes, those are Comic-Con exclusives, but they're technically through Entertainment Earth, so the Entertainment Earth exclusives and Toys R Us exclusives. And in general, they haven't been hard to get after the show. I just went through and did the ones that you could buy through Hasbro rather than the Entertainment Earth ones. Obviously, those do count as San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. They have the logo on them, which a lot of the stuff in the last few years from Hasbro have not had a San Diego Comic-Con logo. In many cases, it's because they released it at other conventions, whether it be Celebration or another convention overseas or something like that. So I hope you enjoyed this look back at San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. Like I said, this next week, I'm hoping to be able to get that Luke and Landspeeder and the Grand Admiral Thrawn, and probably the Gree as well, and give you a review on those as I get them, and kind of give you a review of Comic-Con in general. I like to show people the crowds and how crazy it is. It is crazy, but it is a lot of fun to go there. This is probably going to be my last year going for a few years. I have a baby boy on the way, and we're moving to a new house, and I just don't think I'm going to be able to afford to go on trips for the next couple years. So maybe my last year going to Comic-Con, so I'm going to live it up and have a lot of fun. So thank you for watching my video today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any comments or something I missed or didn't do something right, go ahead and leave it in the comments below or write me swccpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you very much.